Alright, got some good footage with me, Alejandro, Matt, and Logan. Tough matchup for us. Here I'm going to be focusing on Alejandro. Um, took some notes here. We'll go through it. This is the first game, is the warm-up game. I like looking at the warm-up game just because this is like our natural element. We're not warmed up yet, physically, like mentally. This is kind of like a default where we're at. Maybe you can like fix this up later in the day, but at the least, like there's some things in the first game that weren't cleaned up yet. Um, so this is like the first peel of the day, and just want you to look at your footwork on peeling here. Let me actually make this full screen. Let me get my notes on the other screen. Okay. And is this high quality? Let's make it 4K, baby. Okay. Just trying to be more intentional about your footwork. You took like 7 steps here. Be intentional about your like 3 or 4 step peeling approach and keep your hands up. I'm terrible at that. But sometimes you do it right, sometimes you don't. So just you got to focus in on, doing it the proper way more consistently, and that way you just get back quicker. We'll go over that again later. All right, this next play we'll look at, we'll just like look at your approach here. So you had to get down in order to pass this ball, but then you got to focus and just like be ready, get back up. Try to take a shift to the left so I can get this ball to your right hand and just get up quickly. And then what ultimately happens is just kind of making low contact. It happens. It was a consistent theme in this game. I don't know if you did better later, of just like not being aggressive enough in your approach, not being low enough in your approach, especially on your last 2 steps, like not jumping high enough, and then making low contact with the ball. I think your actual placement with your hand in the ball here, like, it might have been better than the others, but we'll focus on that later too. What happens. All right, we'll go to 110. 110 is another approach. Actually might remove the 4K. We'll see. Okay, nice pass. Mediocre set. So this set's not that great, but I just want to see like where you were making contact with the ball. Like, you want to make contact at like 1 or 2 o'clock and then, swing through it. Here, you're kind of making contact at like, I don't know, 4 o'clock? 3 o'clock? 4 o'clock? And you get on the ball and it goes deep. I don't know if it would have went in or not, but okay. 134, peeling again. So you can't see fully here because Logan's in the way, but just I think you're taking an extra 1 or 2 steps here when you can just be like intentional about 3 or 4 steps and then just getting there. If you get there a third of a second quicker, I think you get this ball. All right, 202. Let's look at a set here. In general today, the hand setting was really good, and setting overall was really good. But just look, fortunately, I'm only time stamping like things I can critique, and there was a lot of things you did well that aren't going to show up here. But specifically, the hand set's really good. So this was like a little bit of a rushed bump set. Maybe you could hand set this ball, but let's look at the bump set anyways. I think you should hand set that, but I understand. And here, just to show what happened, you just finished upwards, so the ball just went straight up instead of like finishing forwards. And then I do like a weird hit. All right, 239. We're gonna look at just the point of contact here. So, this is an option ball. It's not like the cleanest in system ball. I mean, like decent pass, but you're gonna just make contact to here again, like at this part of the ball. When ideally you're making contact like up here and generating topspin. Instead, you're kind of just like chopping at the middle right side of the ball, and that's why like a lot of your hits go deep. If you get on top of it, you're gonna be able to hit the ball down a little bit more. Um, okay, three. Um, it's almost coming. I'm just gonna wait. It's a nice play. Okay, good pass. Bad set. Alright, you get this ball back. Alright, okay. So, I'm not going to call this a free ball, but I just want to look at this. So, like, Matt's, like, not in an aggressive position here. He's just poking the ball somewhere. You're, like, squared up with him. You might want to consider, like, having like a surfer stance here and like thinking he's probably not going to poke the ball right at you. He's going to either like poke it over here or he's going to poke it back here. So like what I would recommend here is having one foot in, like being sideways, having one foot up and one foot back instead of lateral. I think it would be easier just to move in that stance. Hopefully not terrible advice, but like something to think about. Like he's poking the ball clearly, like he's not swinging here, so you're gonna have to move. So like whether you want to be on your toes or do some sort of different stance, like a surfer stance, up to you. But like at the very least, recognize like he's not, like your hands are down here. This is never a down ball. You're gonna always have to move for whatever this is, so just be ready to move. Um, okay. Let's look at the next play. Actually, the next play is a good play. Nice. I mean, Matt gets this ball up. Good for him. But this was just like a little bit more of an aggressive approach, and I think you'd made slightly higher contact with the ball, um, like in the air, but also like off the point of the ball. It was more like 2 o'clock. I don't think it was 2 o'clock, but like it was higher up in the ball and then just like chopping at the middle bottom of it. Next play 340. I think this was another like good one. Here, like I'm pretty sure you like snapped through the ball here. Um, you have like a nice arm swing in your approach too. Um, so it was a better play. I mean, Matt gets it up again, good for him, but it looked better. All right, 402. We probably get the ball back here. We'll take a look. Just focus on the contact point again here. Okay, this is a free ball. And then, maybe it's not the set you want. It's like it was in system and then it quickly becomes out of system. This is kind of like a fixed set, but um, like you made contact at like your ear here, um, and like I don't have a good like way to tell you how to fix this, but I can at least tell you to like recognize your arm is like bent when you're hitting this. Like you want to fully extend your arm and hyperextend and hit this ball. Instead, like you're making contact beneath the net, when like you could be making contact up here. So you actually did, you did make contact up here, but like I'm exaggerating. But you can make higher contact at the end of the day. Okay, 415. I'm just gonna let it play. Okay, this is a tough one, man. Logan. Okay, good set. I don't finish it. Logan makes a good up. So here, just something you can, try to recognize. This is tricky because Logan was hitting like a variety of balls like in rhythm throughout the day. Here he like doesn't have any approach. He's like super early. He's looking up. He's like at a standstill here. He's never hitting a down ball. And maybe he's hitting deep, but like he's gonna shoot one way or the other. So just try to be on your toes and be ready to move here, or like try to get something overhead. He's never like hitting the ball at your hands in this scenario. He's either like gonna shoot deep or short. He's not just like swinging at you and you go short. So like the whole like whether you get this ball or not, I just want you to see like this is not an approach that's like fluid in rhythm. Like he's stopping. So that probably means he's shooting, which probably means you have to be ready to move. So like, it doesn't matter that we get scored on this play, but like you need to at least like be able to attempt to get this ball, like whether you get it or not, whatever. But like you gotta at least try to get this ball. And like it's definitely tricky because 2 plays before he was like drilling a middle ball. Play before that he's like drilling an angle like hit. But the difference between those and this one was like his approach was just far worse on this play. But that's also like the first time he did that all game. So I mean, it's hard, but like these are things that you could see. Um, okay. Let's look at the contact point on this hit here. So, it's hard for me to pause like the perfect time, but you're making contact like here. I want you to jump, extend your arm as much as you can, and like get on top of the ball. Um, so I couldn't pause it, but like you're making contact here, and like I know you can make contact like at least like a foot higher than that. Yeah, and it's like maybe not the set you exactly want, but like it's good enough. Let's see if I can say anything else with the set. You kind of tripped here is what happened. I didn't see that originally, but play on grass wouldn't happen. Um, adjusting to tough set 5-10. Okay, something I want to point out here. So I think there was one play here, two similar plays. And I think one's you did a better job than the other. Okay, kind of a tough pass, which means it's gonna be a tough set. Balls to the right hand low, like I think you could be hitting this ball, but this type of poke where you're just like the arm straight up and short, it's not gonna fool. It's like it's just not gonna work against these guys, especially Matt. Maybe sometimes Logan, probably not Logan. Like he's gonna get this ball, and then the problem with going short is it's like if they do get this up, it's a super free ball for them, right? It's like the ball control from them is gonna be way easier. They have less, space that they have to move the ball. Then he just gets a good option, and we're just gonna get scored on. Ideally, you can be aggressive on this approach and the hit, and like do a real hit, or at the least like put it back somewhere. And then, and just in general, I would prefer like a hit, whether it's like a short roll shot or a hit. It's just gonna be harder to read. Or if you do poke, I would probably prefer to poke deep, but let me just look at the approach one more time. I'm like kind of in your way here. It's not a it's not an easy play. But yeah. All right. Let's look at 530 though. I think 530 did a better job. Okay, so like this is an option ball. It's not exactly the same, but like this is a set that like you don't love that you're making an adjustment to, and then you just poke it deep. And like this isn't even a great poke, honestly, but it does just put a lot more pressure on them to put the ball from the back to the front of the court, and then like that leads us to getting the ball back again. So like this, like last second adjustment you made is pretty similar, but just like the difference in the choice of setting it deep, uh, I think leads to us getting the point. And then one more thing I would say about the poke is just like if you're at the net and it's high and tight and you can kind of poke down, then that's good. But this poke where you have to like straight arm poke and then like go short with it. Like this was like one like you're not gonna be able to do a better poke shot than this, and it's like still pretty much a free ball, honestly. Um, if this ball was, you know, like on top of the net and you could just like poke it down, it's a different story. But the fact that you have to like poke and pop it up, it's just gonna be an easy pickup for people that are this level or better. All right, hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully accurate and not just leading blind, but good stuff overall. I mean, we held our ground in these games, and there was a lot of good things that I'm not showing. So nice.